What is up, mortals? Alex here. Today, as you can see by the title of the video and what's in front of you, I have an updated Dragon Link for the new current format. This list is pre-Dual Overload. We will be getting that later this week, and I will be adding some of the cards to the deck, and I might be telling you what I'm gonna switch around for Needle Fiber and maybe trying Union Carrier with it. Once I get my hands on those cards, I'll do a test hand video and explaining some of the combos you can do with it. But as of right now, this is the list that I've been playing for the past month, and I've seen a lot of success. The deck only really struggles with certain cards, but I've added some cards to the main deck to address those matchups, and I'll explain to them when they come around. There's some decks that not a lot of people play, but some cards that I needed to play just to be able to play against those matchups. Well, first of all, I have to say the deck does it all. It can do absolutely everything you want in a deck. It can go super aggressive, it can go slow down, and control. You can do some stun versions of it, or just basically play at your own pace and let your opponent play at that tempo as well. You're able to control everything you want in the game because you have access to the entire deck through one level 4 lower dragon. And if you have a second body, that body will turn into Romulus, which again has access to the entire deck via Ravine. So this is one of the most powerful decks. If Spyro wasn't in the meta, I think this deck would be the best deck. It does struggle against Dino, but what deck doesn't? So I'm going to be explaining some of the techs, others will not. To start the deck off, we play 3 Cypher, the heart and soul of the deck. This card does it all. On summon, it lets you add dragons equal to a number of monsters, dragons you tribute from the field or hand, or send to the graveyard, I guess. Basically lets you access any monster in the deck because we play level 4, 6, 8, and I guess we play at 10 in Darkness Metal, but this guy has like an amazing effect on summon, and then in the graveyard as well. You can do both effects during the same turn. In the graveyard, you can banish it to add a level 8 dragon to the hand. Most times that will be Levineer, which I'll get to in a little bit, I guess. But sometimes, like very often, or I guess very seldom, you will be shuffling back a Boral Savage Dragon that's in your graveyard, so you can resummon it again. Very good card. You definitely need to play 3 of these. Just mandatory to play. The Baby Chaos Dragon, 1 of each. It's very sad that they're 1, but rightfully so. These guys get out of control, and once if you have access to these in your opening hand, you pretty much can do whatever you want with just 1 to 2 cards. Really good. If you don't open with them, you can always go and search him with Cypher, because he can tribute himself as well and go get a level 4 dragon, so you get 1 of these guys. So essentially you have 2 bodies for free, and then the link monsters that you summon net you advantage as well. So very good card, definitely at 1. Again, rightfully so. Darkness Metal, this is the card that we'll probably see a Forbidden really soon. This card is still insane, and you kind of have to play it. Very good card, not once per turn. Just a 1 copy of Levineer. You can play 3, you can play 2, but 1 is all you really need. You can search this whenever you want. Brotar access to it. It's just good. No need to play multiple copies because you do need a graveyard to be set up for his effects, and you can only use 1 of the effects per turn. But you can summon it multiple times. So you can summon, claim 1 of the effects, link away, bring it back with Cypher, and then just drop it as a link fodder or 3000 beater. Very good card. MVP, really, that card is insane. Very good, but not a more than 1. Destrudo, my least favorite card in the deck, but we still have to play the 1. He can become a level 3 dragon, and that's all we really need to perform a guard dragon combo. But now with Needle Fiber coming out, he is definitely going to become a little better. 1 Brotar, one of my favorite cards in the entire game right now. Love this card to bits. Really fun to play with. When he is special summon, you target any monster in the field, discard a card, and add a monster with the same type and attribute. And when he's in the graveyard hand and a guy is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon it and do its effects. Really good card. Level 1 Dark Dragon, amazing. Black Metal Dragon, really cool tech. I used to play this card at 3 in my deck when Guard Dragons came out, because this and World Legacy Guard Dragon is full combo. So Really cool card. It lets you get access to your Darkness Metal for free, essentially. For the Rockets, 3 Tracer, second best card in the deck, or second best monster in the deck, really. Really good. Anytime you have access to this guy, you can play through a lot of hand traps. You can end up on some cool boards thanks to this guy. Really good. Definitely play 3. 2 Silver Rockets. I used to play 1, then I looked at the list that won the YCS, and I guess, having a 19 beater, a recurring 19 beater is really good. Plus, this isn't one of the only ways to outwin in the Shaddoll matchup. Remember that the field spell gives your guys 300 attack, so he will be crashing with Winda, and then you can start extending into breaking their boards. Definitely 2. Same with Magna Rocket. It's the best one out of all the rockets, really. I guess except for Tracer. His removal effect is so good. When he's targeted by the effect of a link monster, you can send a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, non-targeting. He's 18, he floats, and he has an excellent effect. So there's no reason to play any others but the big ones. You just need that raw damage sometimes. Remember that a Tracer's effect is quick effect, so you can get in for some more damage, so why settle for anything less than the biggest ones, and in this case 19 and 18. Rocket Recharger, very combo looted card. It doesn't really do anything on its own, but it's still a level 4 Dark Dragon that we can pretty much do everything with our deck, and it has an effect in hand or field that if a guy you control was summoned from the extra deck is destroyed, you can send this from the hand or field to the graveyard and essentially summon any other monster that wasn't that monster destroyed. It has to be dark as well, but most of the deck is dark. Very good card, extends your plays to go for Borrelsword plays, and at worst it lets you play through some hand traps. Very cool card. Just the 1. For the last of the Rocket Engine, 2 Observator. 1 is to summon and 1 is to send from the deck to the graveyard. Really good. Extender, its consistency, it does it all. Extremely good card. Definitely at 2. For a while I played 3, but I think 2 is good enough. We have access to the deck anytime we need a card. So for the hand traps and the last few monsters, Phantasma is a must in this deck. I was doing 2 forever, but with Dual Overload coming out, a lot of decks are going to want to link summon right away. So I figure if I open with Phantasmic going second every game, I might be able to win or break those boards, because there's going to be a lot of silly stuff and we need to dig for those. The only card that I care in the Shaddoll matchup is Big Fusion. I've been doing really well at playing around it. I have never really banned Big Fusion from the deck, but if I can't really commit to a Heretic Seal play, I'm gonna have to keep an Ash in hand to stop that play. If they resell Big Fusion from the deck, you're gonna be so behind, and you never want that. So 3 Ash Blossoms mainly for Big Fusion. That's it for monsters. No draw. Sorry about that. No Ash, no Veilers. No DD Crow, no Veiler, no Ogre. Some people are trying those hand traps. I just don't think they're very good right now. They do certain things, but I don't think they do enough for me to play them. And remember, most people are playing Call by the Grave in their combo decks. So you just want those hand traps that basically can't be stopped. Impermanence. I was trying Impermanence for a little bit, but I will show you another card that I changed it for, and it's doing a lot better. But no more hand traps, just the 6. With Phantasma and Ash, if I have Ash, that's fine. I can stop the one thing that I need to. With Phantasma, it lets me dig for an Ash or for a better hand. So I don't want to clog my hands with those hand traps. For the spells, we play 3 Quick Launch. This card lets you play through a lot of different things. It gets the best monster, the second best monster from your deck into your hand, and it's a quick play. It's what more can you ask from a card? This card is very strong. So I had a problem with playing through a lot of hand traps and some negations that I could only if I had this card in my hand. And after playing against a lot of Windas and Mikabas and Nibiru's and all of that, I realized that I needed to play the 3rd. So from now on, I am going to play 3, and if you are not, then I highly recommend you looking into it. It lets you play through every hand trap, and it lets you move your guard dragons around, which is insane. 3 Cosmics, because Mystic Mine is everywhere. It really is. So you just want to have a card that deals with it. Primarily, it's Cosmic for mine. I guess base case scenario why I play it in the main deck. Worst case scenario is just it lets me remove a random face down that it could be super poly or some dumb thing. Definitely play this for this format, just for Mystic Mine. Do not throw away those game ones. So I was struggling against Winda a lot. Combo decks. Hello, Winda. Everybody's playing Shaddolls. I wanted to play something strong to beat it that wasn't really weak against anything else. And Chalice was the perfect card for that. Impermanence sort of does the same thing, but if they have an L Fusion set, once you play through the first Winda without using your Chalice, and then they can L Fusion into a second one on your turn at a point where Impermanence can be even activated. So I like Chalice just for that, for the Winda primarily, ideally. But it also has an application to stop VFD, Tyranno, or Dweller. Basically those monsters that won't allow you to play. A very good card. Stops Apollousa as well, which is really huge. For the field spells, 2 Boot Sector Launch. Definitely a second one. Grind games happen a lot. This deck went from a super combo heavy deck with 4 or 5 negates to a slower, more control-y deck. So 2 of these, one for the initial play, one for a follow-up. Very good. Ravine, free. It lets you send dragons. Play 1. Dragon Shrine. Some people play 2 to 3. I was doing 2 for a while. Just the 1. The deck kept getting tighter and tighter, and I don't really want to play more than 44 cards. Foolish Burial. Essentially, it's another shrine, but it can also send anything else that I need. I can't activate 2 shrines per turn, but I can do 1 Foolish Burial and 1 shrine. And for the last card, Monster Reborn. Everybody's main decking Nibiru in their decks. Everybody is. So this card allows me to play through that every time. Or if I have World Legacy Succession, I usually can. But Reborn is a bomb of a card. It's the one unfair card that if I draw this, I really can't lose, just because what I get back. Getting back Darkness Metal and just reviving more dudes is game. So Monster Reborn, just for those Saki plays. And it lets us extend our own combo. That's always grateful. It's always good. That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I am doing 2 Striker Dragons. Some people play 3, and at first we play just 1. But now with the second Boot Sector Launch for the follow-ups and adding back the Recharger so you can claim back your Darkness Metal, and it just gets out of hand from that. Definitely play 2. Very good card. The YCS winning guy was playing 3, but I think that's a little too many. LP, of course, you just have to. Pisty, same thing, just have to. 1 Romulus, he lets you get Ravine. He's a dragon, fairly generic in the deck, and the arrows are excellent, so really good. Dillinger's Dragon, he doesn't do much, but he does become link fodder. Very good card. Quad Boral, excellent card, one of my favorites, really. Really big fan of this. You know what these guys do, so we went from 1 to 2. So the reasoning for playing 2 of this now was the Shaddoll matchup. You can't just go first and set up a board and let them beat you with multiple fusions. So what we do now is do an initial play, get everything out of the deck that we can, then sit on 1 of this. That way they can't fuse from the deck and we still have interruption. Remember that this contributed itself as cost from the extra deck to get himself off the field, so their big fusion can't resolve, and getting you more advantage with the dragons that you summon. Brotar, Observator, Black Metal Dragon, or Cypher. Really good, definitely play 2. Beat Cop, because it lets you play through Nibiru, and I'm pretty sure this will become Needle Fiber soon. But as of right now, just 1 Beat Cop, generic. You definitely want it. You want to link to the points down that start. Triple Burst, he doesn't really do much, but he comes up. His down pointing arrow matters, and I guess the typing as well, but he just lets you play through some combos. And it has a cool effect negation during the battle phase. It comes up sometime. Link 4, I went ahead and added Apollousa, because a lot of our turn 2s, when we have everything set up, we can climb into an Apollousa before we start doing guard dragons, and this lets you play through Nibiru and kill your opponent. Very good card. Unchained Abomination, best Link 4 we can end up on turn 1, really. You summon this guy and a few rockets, your opponent's going to be struggling to do anything. This card can pop 3 cards per turn. It's nuts. Borrelsword Dragon because I'm allowed to play with this card. Every time I summon this and this deck is game, and if it happens to die, we just bring it back. And Borrelsword Dragon, good card. And for the last card, the only synchro in my extra deck, Boral Savage Dragon. One of the best cards in the game, really. Possibly the best level 8 synchro in the game for sure. Like I said, it's recurable. You can put it back with Cypher and summon it again. So it's really good. Sometimes when your hand is weak, you can just end up on a Boral Savage with 1 negate, then get rid of it and then put it back in the synchro, summon it again. Really cool card. Omni Negate, the one card that negates anything in the extra deck. I've been thinking about playing the Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss card again, just because after I use the Boral Savage, I can synchro summon for the level 9 and have an extra negate, and then next turn Cypher can put back the Boral Savage. But at that point, I'm just styling. The deck can kill the opponent in the first turn, can kill it in the second turn. Any turn in the game, you can kill your opponent. This deck is so aggressive, so fast and consistent that if you haven't really tested against, you should go ahead and do that. And if you have not played with it and are looking to play something different, check it out. Trust me, I'm a very big fan. But again, thank you for watching. This is my take on Dragon Link. My side deck is still not complete, and again, there's no tournaments going on right now, so the side deck is really relevant to your meta. But if you guys need some side deck options, I can tell you guys down in the description. And if you play this deck, maybe I can do like a side comparison, what I side out, what I bring in against certain matchups. I've been playing this deck non-stop for the past few months, and it would be nice to see it do better tournaments. It won the YCS, but it hasn't really done much ever since. I don't consider the 60 card BA Link deck the same thing as this, because that's another monster. But again, thank you if you stuck this long with me. If you like the deck, if you like the language of the cards, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Post down below if you have any questions, if you have a list of your own, of course. Link it to us and I'll gladly watch it. But for now, thank you for watching. Alex, out. Peace.